All right, and we are back into it.
Hello,
All right,
everyone.
this is go for it.
Hello, everyone. I'm Terry Candlestick, and I am joined again by.
Fit Moya, indeed. You can find me on YouTube, Twitch, X. I believe you can find Terry Candlestick on YouTube and I think X or Blue Sky.
Yeah, you can
You can
find
find me
me
on Blue
on.
Sky too.
Oh, you can find me on YouTube. If you search Terry Candlestick, and you can find me on Blue Sky as well if you search Terry Candlestick.
Indeed.
So,
All right.
normally I try not
Without
to
further
rush it,
ado,
but
let's go ahead.
normally I try not to rush it, but let's get through this so this fucking ringing stops.
Indeed. This is starting to make my ears hurt. The coyote latches onto my shoulder, yanking me back. Something hard smacks into my skull, and I feel my mind rattle. I lurch away, is essentially butt bumping the coyote as my ears ring from the prior blow. TJ is still on the ground, crying and covered in booze as the bullies stand around him. My movement goes sluggish. My movements go sluggish, and it's like I've become a zombie, shambling toward the door as my vision blurs. Is this what being knocked out feels like? I clench my fists and keep up my pace, trying to blink the blurriness away. Eventually, I reach the entrance. Carl? Oh, you. As I reach the outside, my knees lock and I drop to the concrete. The impact rattles my bones as I catch myself, my wrists, just barely managing to avoid falling directly on my muzzle. I take a deep breath, and still conscious. At least, half conscious. I continue crawling, trying to ignore the throbbing pain. Crawl! That kills people!
I was gonna say that.
Shouting now, my voice sounds foreign to me. Shrill, childlike, pathetic, and increasingly hoarse. Leo! My voice shouldn't be this croaky. I barely talk today. I'm in the middle of the road now. Where's Carl? I should get out of here before a car comes. I pull myself along the asphalt, feeling my skin scrape beneath my fur. I want to stand, but I'll probably just fall again. And so I keep crawling, rolling into what seems like some sort of detention basin. I stare up at the sky, fighting the sudden urge and gritting my teeth through the pain, through the sudden fatigue. At first, I think it's blood that got into my eyes, but upon rubbing them, I realize that isn't the case. The sky is different. Like someone slapped one of those colored gel matte filters over it. What the hell? I rub my eyes again, attempting to focus. I can't stay here. TJ. TJ is in deep shit. Those idiots, those assholes. Sucking in a sharp breath through my teeth, I rise to stand, praying my knees don't lock up again. Find Carl. Find Leo. I stumble out into the detention basin, feeling packed soil beneath my feet. A dirt road. Looking behind me, I realize I must have crawled further than I thought. Parsons looks over a mile away? That can't be right. I see a van ahead. It looks rusted and old, but there's a light on inside. I step stiff-leggedly down the road a ways, reaching the bend where the vehicle sits. The same redness that the sky is tinted with pulsates from the interior. I hear that strange, familiar sound. The sound of echo. I try to speak, but no words come from my throat. It's like a dream. I want to do the rational thing and announce myself, but I can't. I move closer, peering into the dusty back window. Suddenly, the window is another window. What? Suddenly, I mean, inside the window is another window. And in that window is a little red dot in the corner, flashing on and off. In the window within a window within another window, there's a writhing, flashes of fur, contorted and undulating in constant, restless motion. Something is trying to hold it in place. I hear a deep clap and a cry. The clapping continues, louder now. Rhythmic, yet singular applause. "This is what you want," says the voice that cried. I stare, slowly finding the will to speak. "No, I need to help my friends. Uh, do you know where they are?" The voice shifts some, more urgent. "We heard gunfire coming from the town. It's real bad." "Gunfire? I didn't hear anything. Please help me find my friends." "We can't find them all now. We need to go. They're lost. They went back to the island." "No, they're not." "I'll keep going. I'll keep looking myself." "You're just going in circles." I feel tears well within my eyes, a lump in my throat containing a choked sob. "Please." The van's back door is open. I'm standing too close and it pushes me in, and it pushes me onto my back. The red light is gone now, replaced by darkness, shifting shadows within. I see them now. Tarantulas. Their 8 legs fuzzed with white and rust-colored stripes. They're on me with haste. 2 of them. One on each of my arms. They bite so hard, so quickly. I can't yell. They pull and tug at me. Another pair at my legs. I'm pulled up and into the van, my body stretched upon the squishy something that begins to sink against my arms and legs. There's no more light, and I stare, paralyzed, at what I think is the ceiling of the van in the pitch blackness. It feels like restraints are binding me in place. I try to adjust my eyes to the darkness, but everything seems blurry and unclear. My head throbs like a heartbeat, the pangs of pain unrelenting. My fur bristles. Where did the spiders go? Breathing has become more difficult, as if the oxygen in the van was running out. I feel the veins in my neck bulge as I try to gasp for large breaths, but my body is not my own. Lights seem to pop as the ringing in my ears intensifies. Something is above me. I can sense it. There's a garbled muttering coming from it, as if spoken through a poorly tuned AM radio. It sounds like me. "You knocked him out?" "I swear, I barely touched him, man." fucking pants on? Dude, just go. Leo, I go before he wakes up. I'll see you. Party? Goes quiet. Then, after a few more seconds, go for it, Leo. I think this is you.
Cheers. Cheers. Cheers.
The voice changes. This time, the voice is throbbing within my head. Have you ever killed anyone?
Cheers.
I hear my name once again and lean forward, only to find my head pounding and something metal around my neck.
Cheers.
Again, my name is spoken. The voice, a coarse rasp that sounds somewhat familiar. I blink several times, trying to get the blurriness to leave my eyes. They feel puffy, like I'd been crying a lot. Surely enough, as I touch my cheeks, I can feel wet stains. I must have wept while I was out. Finally, my vision clears enough that I can get a read on my surroundings. It's some kind of trailer, with trash and stained clothing scattered about everywhere. Most of it's beer bottles and old TV dinner packages, with a few stacks of vintage science magazines and newspapers along the back wall. Dishes and junk are piled high along the length of the counter. It smells like cigarette smoke. Brian must have brought me here. Maybe this is his place. As the reality of the situation sinks in, I quickly try to stand up, but the sudden tugging at my throat pulls me back down. I clutch at it, realizing it's some kind of metal collar which keeps me pinned to the wood-paneled wall.
Cheers.
This time, turn and crane my neck back to identify the source. Carl. My heart leaps, but stops cold once I notice the position he's in. The ram's on some kind of table with bindings around his neck, wrists, and fetlocks. The ram cranes his head in what looks like a painful fashion to look at me. His eyes are puffy and bloodshot, far beyond his usual pink-hued, drug-induced haze. He's been crying. A lot. Carl! I exclaim, my voice half whispered, half shout. What's going on?
And who was doing Carl? Was that me or you?
I think you're doing Carl.
Okay, he's supposed to be hoarse right now.
Yeah.
Are you really Chase?
His voice is weak, cracking with each enunciation. I can see the veins in the ram's neck bulge through his thin fur when he tries to speak. What? Of course it's really me. Did Brian nab you, too? Shakily, the ram nods his head, his horns making a clacking noise against the wood table.
It's all a fucking nightmare, dude. I can't tell what's real anymore. Everything's fuzzy.
He squeezes his fists, then wrenches his wrists back, trying to worm his way out of the bindings.
He keeps coming by and tightening the wrap around my neck until, I can only get a tiny bit of air. After a few minutes, I start to see lights popping, and everything goes all dark and grainy. Over and over again.
It's at that point I notice there's something hanging above him on the ceiling. A mirror, ornately framed with gold-colored trim and pinned up with rusty metal stakes. So starkly fancy and out of place, considering the rest of the trashy interior. Jesus. I strain against the collar around my neck, trying to get a better look at my own bindings. It's hard to see, but this collar looks like it's bolted to the wood-paneled walls on both sides of my neck. Haphazardly, too, as it jiggles whenever I shift too hard. At the same time, the edges of the collar are not exactly smooth. It feels like if I yanked too quickly, the metal would cut into my own neck.
Are the cops coming? I just want to go home, man.
I share the sentiment right now. I'm just trying to get my bearings. The edge of my forehead, where Brian hit me, throbs with pain every couple of seconds. There's no air conditioning in here either, and I can't help but feel like I'm sitting in a hot car. It smells like a dumpster. There's a pungent aroma of body oil, a body odor, mixed with something kind of like rotting fruit. Every breath I take just brings more of that scent into me until I can practically taste it on my tongue. I don't know. I finally respond. Carl's heart visibly sinks, his eyes darting around the room before finally settling on something to my right.
Leo!
I blink and delicately try to turn my head to peer beside me. Crumpled on the floor and bound in a similar type of bondage to my own is Leo, still unconscious. His lip is split and a bit of blood has pooled into the gray carpet. Fortunately, he's still breathing, the big chest of his rising and falling in a slow rhythm. It looks like he took that strike earlier mainly on his muzzle. Hopefully that means his head itself didn't take too much of the brunt, which undoubtedly would worsen the hell out of his concussion. Leo, wake up! I hear him grunt softly, as telling people to wake up when they're unconscious totally works, like I had just disturbed him from a pleasant nap. His eyes already seem like they're half open, so whether he's truly sleeping right now isn't clear. Stretching out, I can just barely manage to nudge him with the tip of my tail. Leo, come on! Another soft groan.
Just use the magic word. Say please.
Leo, please.
Leo,
Chula.
Jesus, ready to go. Wake up. He looks beat up.
Carl rasps. Yeah. Brian beat him pretty bad. Twice.
Oh.
Orange-tinted sunlight seeps in from between the slats of the closed blinds across the room. It must still be daytime out, but just barely. I wonder why Jenna isn't here. Maybe she got away? Outside, there's a pronounced puttering noise drawing closer. It vibrates the room we're in slightly, and there's the faint noise of oldies music carries on along with it. Car. Maybe an old pickup truck. Carl goes quiet, listening as well. Next, voices. They sound terse, argumentative. Going up your fucking sister? One says, higher pitched and pained. Think you were doing Clint, but I can do Clint if you like.
Oh, do Clint.
Okay.
They brought it on themselves.
Clint. Leo was right. He was involved. Fucker.
Oh, and I was doing Jeremy.
Yeah, this is just the one where you're doing everyone. You're
Right?
very popular. You're like a
Yeah.
millionaire at a. You're like a millionaire at a hooker convention right now.
There's a certain guy. His name is very similar to John Stein? Beck? Let's see. I don't remember what Jeremy's voice was.
I think Jeremy was like a stoner dude.
He's kind of a stoner. He's kind of tired, a little bit like Duke. What do you think? What do you think he's gonna do with him? Do to him?
Jeremy's voice comes through less annoyed than the other two. He sounds almost afraid. The same thing he did to Keith, you mangy fuck. That high-pitched voice. It's Micah. Well, fuck. At least he's alive.
You don't know that. Yeah. Shut the fuck up, Micah. Don't disrespect him with this sort of conspiracy shit right now. You've done screwed several pooches, and I ain't coming for you. You don't know shit.
I can hear another car pull up. This one with a much quieter engine. Carl visibly tenses, seemingly recognizing the sound.
It's him, dude.
A car door slams and the voices silence.
Go for it, Brian.
Hello there. Hello there. Bit of a day, huh? The silence continues for a while until Brian speaks again. After you. Clint makes a little... Okay, it's coming from the game. Clint makes a little...
Sorry.
And the noise to the room we're in... The door to the room we're in opens. The original ringtail. The ringtail enters, his composure far more timid than I'm used to. He blinks when he sees Leo and I bound to the wall, staring at the two of us wordlessly. Go on. What was it that you were gonna tell me? Brian enters after him, the hulking bear having to duck to fit through the doorway. Carl quickly closes his eyes, trying to pretend he's asleep. The bear's focus remains entirely upon Clint, but Clint's looking like he's practically withering under his gaze.
I think Duke said he was going to be here in a couple minutes. But apparently folks are gathering at town hall wondering what's going on.
The bear glances back over his shoulder, then extends an arm through the doorway, grabbing something. I struggle to turn my head enough to see what.
Let go!
Jenna's tone is cold, completely curt despite the circumstances. Fortunately, she doesn't look too beaten up beyond her fur being a little tousled. Brian's holding her by the arm and tightly due, judging by the wince on her face. Her stony demeanor visibly fades as she sees the three of us bound up.
This is barbaric.
Brian ignores her comments, dragging her across the stained carpet to an old radiator in the corner. With some errant chain, he gets to work tying her to it. She seems to be getting spared the neck choker treatment. You mentioned there were others with him. The cat boy and the mayor's cocksucking nephew, right?
TJ and Flint, yeah.
Flynn, right. I know him. He's the one with the big bottom. Clint rubs his scabbed arms, looking anywhere but Brian.
I don't know.
He quickly tries to shift the direction of the conversation.
Duke was talking about him. Do you want us to bring him in too? In case they got some incriminating stuff on their phones?
That works for me. Little Jeremy, what you doing out there? Bring in the last one. Sure enough, Jeremy sheepishly enters the room with his paw on Micah's shoulder. The bat is trembling, walking with a limp and a swollen nose. Jeremy looks directly at Jenna for a moment, a flicker of shock on his face at seeing her and the rest of us in such a sorry state. You guys are such shit. It's finally happening, and you all are gonna turn on me just like that? Succumb to it?
Hey man, you're the one who started trying to kill our boss with a wrench. That sounds an awful lot like succumbing to it, to me.
He killed Keith!
Dude, no, he didn't. You're just hallucinating.
Brian lets out an indiscernible noise from the other side of the room, finishing up some bindings around Jenna's ankles. Brian seems like he's in his element, as if this whole kidnapping business is about as strenuous as a trip for groceries. However, the mention of Keith does elicit a visible tensing of the bear. Don't appreciate that kind of disingenuous assertion.
Look, you just need to chill out here. Smoke some weed or something. That's the trick to make it go away, right?
Oh yeah. We're gonna get real high and ride it out, little fellas. Brian smiles, showcasing his broken teeth. You ain't got nothing to fret over. The rotund Finnick pulls out a phone from his pocket. One that looks like the burner Micah showed me earlier.
I still can't get a hold of Heather. We gotta look for her too, man.
Clint, who had been unusually quiet, snaps to attention as he realizes Jeremy is talking to him.
Huh? What? We'll check her pa's place then.
Oh, you're going there. Take care. Take Carl with you. I might need that rack. Only been a few days and I've almost got him trained already. Trained? Shouldn't be too much of a flight risk. I look at Carl, who's trying to pretend he's asleep. He's not doing a very good job as I can still see his legs shaking. Not that I'd be able to do any better in his position. Clint, without a word, moves to the table and unfashions each strap and buckle as if he were personally familiar with each. He pulls at the ram's soiled and slightly bloody tank top.
Come on.
He mutters. Carl complies, his fetlocks nearly buckling beneath him as his hooves touch the ground for the first time in a long while. He doesn't dare look at the rest of us, keeping his gaze down. Good boy, Brian rumbles, grinning to himself. Carl flinches, then pulls something that shimmers in the faint light out of the back of his pants. It takes me a minute or two to realize it's a gun. He presses the metal of the barrel against the ram's spine, his lanky finger hovering over the trigger. As I see the ringtails step around and push open the door, I notice that Carl's not the only one shaking now. Clint's own hand shivers fiercely. Like any second, he might accidentally squeeze his finger back. I try not to make any sudden noises, keeping my already strained breath shallow. This is so fucked. The two shuffle out without a further word. Jeremy moves to follow them, but hesitates for a moment, looking back at Jenna.
Just wait this out, yeah? I'll be... Just go.
Jenna seethes, her words like ice. It's as if any more of that fat phoenix rationalizing would make her physically ill. Jeremy thins his lips, standing there, a bit gormless-like. He finally reaches down into his pocket and withdraws a joint and a lighter. Whatever he's got, it's potent, and I can smell it from all the way across the room. He ducks his head down, turning to follow Clint and Carl out to the truck.
See you guys.
Eat shit, bitch! Jeremy makes a concerted effort to not to react to the bat's sputtered jab, and disappears out the doorway. Brian makes his way over to the door and gently closes it behind him. Sort of like that fat guy in God Hand. Just slowly he turns his head back towards us. A light smile crosses his muzzle. His dark eyes meet Micah's own. His grin widens. Hey, Micah. Micah opens his mouth to speak, but nothing comes out. The bat just gawps wordlessly as Brian walks over and socks him in the chest. Little bat doubles over, nearly cracking his skull on the edge of the kitchen countertop on his way down. Jenna gasps. See? One would think you're prissy. God-loving folks would have taught you some proper manners when round guests. The bear squints down at the crumpled bat, inspecting him to see if he did any real serious damage. At the very least, Keith shoulda. Brian leans down, inspecting some sorts of profanity-laden quip from the bat, but he's met with silence. Micah's furred form heaves, his maws stretching open against the dirty linoleum in a dry retch. The bear continues to watch over him like this, nudging him gently with his foot. No one says anything, and I can see Jenna is doing her best to not draw attention to herself. It's a quiet malaise which throbs like my pulse, pounding against the too tight restraints. Finally, he speaks. That's right, faggot. The bear begins to rifle through one of the mildewy kitchen cabinets and withdraws a pair of fuzzy white handcuffs. They're the kind of thing you'd see at one of those edgy mall gift shops for bondage play. Regardless of their intended use, I can see the glint of metal beneath the fur. They seem pretty solid. He fastens one cuff around Micah's thin wrist, then opens one of the cabinets beneath the sink. With a quick tug, he jerks the bat's arm into it. There's a sound of clinking metal, and then the other cuff is fastened. He must be securing him against the plumbing. Micah resists none of this, fearing further retribution from the bear. I've had a bit of a scorpion problem under there. Make sure to not get stung. Brian's about to say something else, but stops as he spies something out the window. One moment. The bear hustles outside without further word. Micah clutches his stomach, saying nothing. Jenna doesn't either. The only sound is the quiet groaning of Leo and the clinking of metal on metal as we fiddle with our restraints. At that moment, I hear a soft mumbling in the distance through the thin walls of the trailer. I freeze and hold my breath. It's a little ways off, but I'm almost positive that it's Duke. The high, wheezly whine, mixed with the occasional smoker's cough, is unmistakable. It's coming closer, and I can start to make out what he's saying.
Because we've already fucked here. We've already fucked. Because we're already fucked here. You think we could just let him go and it'll be fine? Oh, wait. Actually, let me do that again. It's supposed to be far away, right?
It's probably fine.
No.
I don't know who he's talking to. Also, yeah, Duke and Clint are different people. Just been forever. I don't know who he's talking to, but the sound of an accompanying heavy, lumbering step gives me an idea.
It's worth it, though. If we can figure out what the fuck is going on. No, it just said he has like this dry cough occasionally, so I'm like, well, I'm gonna give him a cough.
And it's just like, what the fuck is going on? That meme. It sounds like they're right up against the trailer now. I can hear them walking around it towards the small door on the right side of the kitchen.
Dukes, Leo ain't saying shit yet, but I think it might be the other. He's the one I seen last week.
The footsteps stop in front of the door, and I listen hard, my heart pounding in my chest.
Oh, you haven't done anything to him. Beyond what you've already done, that is.
Was protecting my property the first time. Haven't done nothing further. Brian's uncharacteristically high-pitched voice sends a chill up my spine, my fur flaring out with it.
You bet your ass you haven't. If you do any of your fucked up shit to these kids.
I stop breathing, staring at the ends of my feet.
What I'm saying is, we still got a chance to get out of this. What we've done is bad enough. But if we can get him to understand.
They stop talking. And that's when I can hear Brian's heavy, labored breaths. It's not breathing at all. I'm not breathing at all. Worried they might be able to hear it, even though they already know I'm here. I let out a gasp as the door suddenly swings open, and Duke comes up steps, looking around before spotting the lot of us.
Ryan, you are one sick fuck.
I tense up as a massive shadow appears behind him, and it feels like the entire trailer tips a bit as Brian makes his way up the same steps. Brian's presence is so imposing and frightening that I don't even notice that Duke is now right next to me. The tires on this trailer, they just suddenly turned into ovals.
I heard one
I
pop.
jump.
One looked brand new, like it had just exploded. I could see little bits of rubber everywhere.
Yeah, that's right. I jump when he sets his hand on my left shoulder, my left arm. I jerk my head to look at him, wide-eyed.
Hey, calm down. We ain't gonna hurt you.
Brian chuckles and Duke shoots him a look. He turns his attention back to me, softening his expression at least as much as he can with his scraggly, drug-fucked face.
We just needs to get some information from you.
I open my mouth to speak, but all that comes out is a dry squeak. Brian chuckles again and makes his way to stand to my right. I cringe away from him and his stench of old sweat as he grins down at me with his yellow teeth. Despite all the others being here, two seem especially focused on me.
Ryan, get some fucking water.
Brian looks at Duke with a strange face before turning back to the kitchen.
Hey, don't worry about him. I know this thing.
Duke taps the metal collar around my neck with a finger.
Looks bad. But we just gotta hold you here for a bit.
The boys are queer. They like it. And the girl is probably just like your wife. Jenna is silent, daring not to provoke the two. Duke glares at him as Brian comes back from the kitchen with a ceramic mug.
You're a queer too.
Brian visibly bristles and his face loses any of the sick humor it once had. Duke clears his throat.
Yeah. My precious. Excuse me.
Oh man, that
God
good, huh?
damn. Things have been happening here, and we want to find out why.
What? Duke furrows his brow. Yeah,
His furrows his
a
brow.
little bit.
You like cleavage?
I have said that we're both queer. Look, even Brian's wearing one. See, hurt. I mean, hey, stop that.
My
Duke
idol's
furrows his
RuPaul.
brows. Have you been wearing something that's lacy?
I'm just a sweet transvestite.
From transsexual
Transylvania.
Duke furrows his brow like a kid trying to figure out something difficult.
You see, people ain't right in the head here.
No shit. Duke seems to immediately read my thought process because he holds up his hands and shakes his head.
Yeah, I know. What we're doing ain't exactly right in the head either.
Brian gives his dumb chuckle again, but I keep my face averted from him, partially because I can't stand the smell.
But we're all a little fucked up here. What I'm talking about is something else, like what's been going on with the townsfolk. Bad dreams, strange behavior, shit straight out of Lovecraft. Sound familiar?
Yeah. I shift a little as I'm reminded. I shift a little as I'm reminded about the past few days. Duke gets genuinely concerned. I look at the weasel's waistband and immediately see the handgun tucked into his pants there.
And I was hoping to stop it before any of this happened. But now...
Everything's gone to shit. Brian finishes for him, and I can feel him move closer to the platform I'm laying on. Again, I avoid eye contact, not wanting to provoke him in any way.
Brian, if you're finishing my sentences like some kind of girlfriend, go make me a sandwich.
Give it yourself a sandwich, I ain't queer.
Yep, and it's only gonna get worse.
Duke just looks at me, and that's all the information that I needed. I don't know what you're talking about. I see a twitch of irritation in Duke's face, and I hold my breath. I mean, what's happening out there? Duke shakes his head.
What's happening everywhere?
Duke looks back at the window suddenly, his fur standing on end. I look too, but all I see are the leaves and branches of late afternoon sun filtering through them. Duke's quiet for a while before he starts speaking again without turning around.
It happened to my granddaddy. My daddy? Now it's happening to me.
I close my eyes, wondering if Duke is just as crazy as Brian. If he is, I doubt he even has a clue what he's doing right now.
Bill's missing. Cynthia drove off into the desert.
Duke turns around to look back to Micah.
Saw your cat friend screeching about on the river road to the north.
Heather?
She had a little revolver. Started pointing it at me and telling me to get out of my truck.
Micah's brow furrows slightly, but otherwise he says nothing.
Tried calming her down, but she wasn't having it. Even fired off a shot in the air before taking my keys and heading off toward her pop's place. Girl was on a warpath. Haunted. Thing is, we've all got something after us. Something bad. Won't let you leave when it starts.
What's after you? I flinch as Brian speaks just above me, leaning down towards my face. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Bullshit!
I flinch again as Duke's concerned demeanor immediately drops away.
What do you think we're... Where are they? No, Batman. Why do you think we came to get you all?
He pauses, like I should actually know the answer.
Sans Micah here, who's already succumbing something fierce to his own demons.
Bitch! Micah mumbles from across the room. I can see Duke's fur bristle. I feel myself starting to panic again, with these two crazy hillbillies looming over my body. I don't know what... Duke slaps me and I gasp in shock.
Hey!
You shut your fucking mouth before I stomp your jaw in. Brian snaps back at Jenna before refocusing his attention on me.
I saw you hanging around this fucking town before you even got here. Late at night, lurking around.
I'm still cringing from the slap, and I keep my eyes closed as if not seeing any of this is going to make it stop.
And then once all your friends got here, all hell breaks loose. You think that's a fucking coincidence?
It's quiet for a moment, and all I hear is the rush of blood in my ears. Is this really happening? I feel Duke touch my arm again and I flinch in fear.
Hey,
I feel like he wants me to look at him, so I slowly open my eyes, tears spilling out as I do. The blurry shape of Duke dances in front of me.
I'm not saying you did it, or that you wanted it to happen.
I don't say anything because I still don't know what he's talking about. But I know I can't tell him that.
It's just that you gotta know something. Anything so we can stop this.
Duke starts to pet my arm and I shiver. Brian is breathing heavily next to me, and I glance at him slowly. I glance at him, and a glance at him shows that his expression is more interested now, almost eager.
It's like a, ooh, this is good for both of us.
Yeah, but insane and like someone who wants to torture you to death. I think about Leo, slooped over next to me. I want to cry out for help to him, though what could he do beyond get himself hurt more? I'm utterly helpless, squirming in my own skin with some creepy guy patting me on the arm, and some other guy with his face, with his muzzle like right next to my ear going, Duke still hasn't answered my questions. It makes no sense that they'd go so far as to kidnap us. But why? Why didn't you just ask us? Why all this? I lift my hands weakly, making the platform rattle. Duke's face darkens.
Because I have been asking Leo all week what the fuck you guys are doing, and he wouldn't say shit. So you all snooping around the Hendrix place, and he attacked me when I confronted him. You just stood there looking out the window with that same condescending look you bunch have always had.
He glances at each of us. Duke stops petting my arm and scratches behind his head.
And my something. Someone told me that you would know.
I stare at him. Who?
Someone I know! And it makes sense. Something bad happens. If you don't fix it, it won't stop coming after you.
I shut my eyes and almost sob.
Says they know. And I thought it had to be Leo. Or you, considering what we've been seeing these past few weeks.
Duke pauses.
Or maybe one of your other friends.
He looks over toward Jenna. She's silent. I don't know what you're talking about. I wait for another slap, but it doesn't come. I open my eyes again, and Duke is looking back out the window.
We're kind of protecting you, too.
I stare at the back of his head.
Things are getting worse out there, and if we don't figure something out soon, we're all gonna die.
Duke's voice is dead and distant. Brian, though, touches my other arm and I gasp, shrinking away. He's smiling down at me, looking at my stomach or crotch, somewhere around there.
Brian, stop. Bad bear.
Duke is turned back around, looking over at the bear.
We're not getting anywhere here. We're not getting anywhere right now. And I gotta get to town hall.
Even though Duke is the one that hit me, I'm terrified at the thought of us being left alone again with Brian. Duke sees my face.
Don't worry, Chase. Even though you're lying to us, I don't plan to let this pervert have his way with you.
Brian snorts.
Brian knows what will happen if he does.
Duke gives Brian a cold, callous stare. And this time, Brian doesn't give his stupid grin back.
Love that stupid grin. You'd better fall in line and think real hard about what you're really doing here, Chase. 'Cause I'll be back.
Duke heads for the door as he holds his hand up. Slowly gives a thumbs up as it slowly slides into lava.
What the
Duke
fuck?
heads for the door. He'll be back. Turning to look over his shoulder.
Just feed 'em food, not cum or cock, you sick fuck. And make sure they don't escape. That's it. And I need your keys.
What? Brian snarls.
What? Heather took my truck, remember? You'll get it back.
Brian seethes through his large, black nostrils. I'm strangely reminded of Leo reacting to Jenna's chiding earlier. With a grumble, he fists around his sweatpants pocket. He takes a brass key from his keychain and pushes it into Duke's outstretched palm.
Thank you. And
with that,
Brian, because of that reference earlier, as I leave, da 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 da, da 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 da, da 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 da, it's Terminator, da 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 da. All right, take it away.
And with that, Duke briskly disappears out the door, a golden flash of late afternoon light illuminating the dim trailer as he puts on a black leather jacket that he got from somewhere, and black shades. Turns and holds up a shotgun.
There's a dead biker out
Brian,
for it.
Brian and I listen to the weasel's soft, anxious footsteps recede into the distance. As soon as the sound is gone, Brian stands up. I turn my head in time to see him whirl around and smash his fist into the wall. I jump as much as I can in my restraints before he does it again, this time slamming both his fists against the wall. Fucking faggot!
Oh. I wish your roommate's associates were still there and they heard that.
The bear shoves his remaining keys into a drawer on the other side of the kitchen. He exhales loudly, staring at the wall and muttering something I can't quite make out.
Shut up, Brian.
Brian remains motionless as he does so, unmoving as the minutes pass by. It's unnerving, but a welcome respite from the aggression being taken out on us. There's a window in the corner of the living room. area that's mainly covered by an olden wooden bookcase. There's no there are no books in it. Just mainly stacks of ashtrays, empty plastic bottles, and old appliance manuals. However, the top two shelves are littered with little knickknacks. It takes me a second, but I actually recognize a few of them as prizes from Southwestern Adventures. I'm reminded of the stuffed griffin I have smushed in my suitcase back at the motel. If only we would have packed up and gone when we had the chance. There's some other keepsakes stuffed back there as well. Lots of stuff from the Blue Diamond Casino on the reservation. Travel cases, poker chips, canvas satchels, and even a mug with a smiling blue diamond and Meseta Warchave headdress. It reads, Chief Daddy, in big, bold letters. Is Brian a father? The idea seems unlikely. Brian stands on his tiptoes and peers out the little bit of window still visible over the top of the bookcase. There's a faint popping sound in the distance. 4th of July fireworks cracking off. I can't imagine why anyone would be celebrating at a time like this. They're probably not fireworks. Brian flinches, a soft frown crossing his burly features. He hums to himself, brow furrowed as he takes a seat on a faded corduroy recliner, turning it in place to face us. His eyes shift over to me for a moment, and it's like he wants me to say something. I swallow, my mouth dry as a bone as I begin to speak. Do you think... Do you think those were gunshots? Worried about your friends? Yeah. Don't be. You should be the worried ones. He smiles, a big, toothy grin, composed of what few teeth he has remaining. Oh. There's something familiar about his face now. My mind flashes with images of that smile peering at me from the end of my bed. Could it have been one of the countless night terrors I'd seen when my body was still frozen with sleep, unable to move, just like I am now? Except this is real. His gaze shifts to the rack, the mirror beside me, and he's quiet for a while. He suddenly smacks his lips. Keith, he truly was the best of us. He got me wondering what he'd do if he was around now. Let us go. Micah's quick-fire response elicits a solemn grunt from Brian. You know damn well that's what he'd do. Golden rule. Yeah. So, should I hit you with the wrench too, then? Then I got one around here somewhere. The bat promptly stops talking as the bear starts looking around the cluttered mess that is his trailer. Brian eventually stops, snirking to himself in a strange, nasally fashion. Fucking psycho. So, you want to talk about Keith, huh? Well, alright. Micah doesn't speak this time, letting the bear mull about. First, you gotta understand that I see things. I reckon everybody does. Everybody here does. Just a lot of folk don't like to admit it. Or don't have it as bad. When I see things, I see it, smell it, Hear it. Feel it. I'm not scared of anything, I swear. Don't tell Duke. Hear it. Taste it. All six senses, what have ya. When I was a kid in Peyton, I didn't see shit. Even though I had a pretty fucked up childhood. My mom left when I was 6 because my dad was a piece of shit. But, you know, she's a piece of shit for leaving me with him. Anyway, you know where my dad told me she'd gone? No one says anything until Brian turns to look back down at Micah, expectantly. I don't know. Brian cackles. It sends a chill up my spine. That the aliens had taken her. I press myself deeper into the wall, wishing I could just disappear between the wood paneling. I think he must have been drunk or high or both, but it stuck with me, you know? I look away, trying to make myself look small and avoid any unnecessary eye contact with him. Then, when I was a teenager, I got myself a boyfriend. Well, we're like a fuck buddy. We kind of hated each other. I can feel him looking between Leo and I now. I have a feeling the bear is aware of our former relationship. At least it felt like that sometime. Fucker wouldn't leave me alone, no matter how much he was saying I disappointed him. Gotta be my best self or whatever. He talked too much. But he was a good fuck, and the only faggot I knew, so I came here every other week or so to fuck him. Things got a little better between us, and he convinced me to help him out with restoring this old bar off of 65. It was a complete shithole, but he loved his vices, booze, drugs, fucking, peddling all that like it was his dream to like it was a dream to him. But then something weird happened on one of my trips out here when he wasn't around. I remember the moon was red that night because the forest fires out west, and I kept looking at it. And that's when I saw a flying saucer, like one straight out of a cartoon with lights and a dome thing on top. I couldn't believe it. There's a fucking floating. It was fucking floating through the sky. And you know, even though it would look stupid as fuck, I knew. I knew I saw it. And it was fucking evil. I just knew it. Brian finally looks down at me. That night, almost every night after, I'd wake up and I couldn't move, and aliens would be around my bed. And there was this one alien that I knew was my mom. She didn't look like my mom. She looked like an alien. But I just knew it was her. And she'd do these things to me. Sometimes my mouth and eyes and nose. But usually my dick. Torture me. And it felt fucking real. Brian chuckles, still staring at Leo and I. Fucked me up good. And I blame my boyfriend for it. For bringing me to Echo. Because I was sure that's where the evil came from. I ordered him out here. Skull fucked him when his mom was still home. Got him caught. So he had to leave town because of it. Micah's lightly fuzzed face seems to lose some color to it, at that. His wide eyes shifting to the linoleum beneath him. The massive bear shakes his head. Didn't stop the dreams, though. So, he just left us all behind then? Oh, no. Brian straightens up in his chair, creaking loudly. He stuck around the res on account of being a meseta and all. Found him at a gay bar. What does that mean? It means I have an idea. Brian stands up from his seat and disappears into one of the back bedrooms. He calls back to us. Something to pass the time with. Was saving this for Clint, but he's been keeping scarce lately. He comes back with what looks like a step stool, medical satchel, and a whip? On closer inspection, it's not a whip, but a noose. Little bits of metal embedded around the edges. Razor blades. A noose with fucking razor blades? What the fuck? Brian gets to work tying it up to a conspicuous hook on the kitchen ceiling. He's incredibly quick with tying the knots, like he's done this 1,000 times before. I can feel my heart pounding in my ears, each blade on that noose glinting with what little light there is in the trailer. I try to crane my neck to look at Jenna, but I'm still having trouble seeing her. Brian smiles down at Micah, bending down and taking the vat's cups off just as quickly. What the fuck are you doing? Shut up! It'll be okay. Be calm. Don't struggle. Brian's voice reminds me of a children's show presenters with his squeaky, reassuring cadence. The context of his words makes it deeply unsettling. I struggle against my collar restraint whenever he's turned away. I have to get out of here. Can't keep going in circles. Brian sets down the stool squarely beneath beneath where the noose is hanging. Step up onto the noose. Step up onto the stool.
Onto the noose.
You're short enough, so this will actually work.
Step up onto the noose.
Yeah,
you're gonna get onto a horse.
Yeah. He's got to step onto it, and then he can grab the hook and just pull himself into the ceiling. Get back here, you fucking bat! You're fucking crazy. Micah reels back away from him, but Brian grabs him by the hand. He starts bending it inward, and the bat squeals in pain. Okay. You either do what I say, or I'm gonna start breaking every joint in your body. All right? Micah continues to shriek, finally wrenching free after nodding. Okay. Put your head through the noose. I can see the turmoil in Micah's face, 1,000 fight-or-flight responses running through his head. The inside of the noose itself doesn't got any blades, just the outside, so you can't be grabbing it. Micah stares at the hole in front of him. Do it! He's about to grab the bat's hand again, but Micah shoves his head through just in time after stepping up on the stool. I'm in! Good. The bear reaches up and tightens the noose more firmly around the bat's neck, looking proud of himself as he does so. He's cinching it hard until it's clear the bat is struggling to breathe. With a smile, he reaches down and tugs off one of the legs of the little stepping stool. Brian chuckles to himself as the bat teeters, like nearly kicking the stool away. He just barely manages to keep himself upright, with the tip of his toes catching the edge. His cheeks flare as more of his weight is having to be held aloft by his neck, the strain causing his neck veins to bulge. He gasps like a fish for breath, swaying his hips from side to side to get a more solid standing position. I can see him resisting the urge to grab the noose, an act that would surely strip his fingers to the bone. Brian, meanwhile, chuckles to himself, tickled deeply by the display. There you go. Brian is turned away from me now. But even from this angle, it's clear he's rubbing himself through his sweatpants. I'm petrified, wanting to scream out to make him stomp, not daring to make a sound. This is what Duke was warning Brian not to do, and he did it anyway. I close my eyes, praying to see that weasel again. Put a stop to all this. Hey, don't think I forgot about you all. I open my eyes again to see he's looking directly at me. Well, you too, at least. I mean, given a choice of a bunch of guys and one girl, what kind of queer would pick the girlie? He says the word queer with distaste, the bear beginning to reach into his little satchel. He looks at Jenna as he pulls out what looks like a long spool of string. The others tell me you were a bit of a bitch, anyway. At least, that's what your brother said. I keep expecting Jenna to start speaking, talking him down, full psychoanalysis mode, like all those thriller movies. But right now, she's completely silent. Leo stirs slightly beside me, mumbling something incoherent. Brian has scissors now, and he kneels down in front of us. I begin to feel faint as he points the edge of them towards me with a smile. Instead of cutting me, he begins snipping along the side of my shorts and underwear, cutting up to the waistband. What are you doing? Micah teeters in the kitchen, letting out a glubbering, choking sound as he struggles for breath. Saw you a few weeks ago. You had no eyes. Heard you talking to the empty rail yard, saying that you two need to stay close. Thinking I should oblige that request. What? The eyeless chase. The thing we saw earlier? Leo stirs some as I shout, shifting slightly as Brian does the same to his pant leg. Don't worry. I won't get your bits out. He reaches into his little medical bag and pulls out a suturing needle. I think you're supposed to shave the fur before you start doing this. But, oh well. No, please. You don't need to do this. That thing you saw, it wasn't me. I've seen it too. Brian blinks, canting his head slightly. Well, I figured that much. That it wasn't real. You still have your eyes for now, and that goatee. He's pushing our legs together now, and my heart feels like it's in my throat, my vision starting to blur. Don't squirm now, or it turns to joint breaking time, and I can always stitch other things together. Oh, God, no. The needle hits me first, at my mid-thigh. I cry out, squeezing my fists against my chest. I want to deck him, punch him, do anything to make him stop. I yell so loud I slobber onto the front of my shirt, tears once again welling in my eyes. I can feel the metal pierce through my skin, far too deep as it tears through muscle and tugs it back out again. Leo begins to writhe slightly as it goes through his leg, though he doesn't wake. That's one. Stop! I start to feel faint as blood pools into the new holes in my thigh. That the needle re-entering promptly wakes me back up. Fuck! 2.
Stop!
Jenna speaks in the corner of the room, her voice unlike I've ever heard her before. Quiet. So much so that I don't know if Brian even heard her. 3. Micah gasps, wobbling erratically as blood drips from his left hand. He must have gripped the rope for a second and cut himself. Don't fall, kid. Brian calls to Micah before looking back. He has a lurid gaze and as he stares directly into my eyes, pushing that needle in again. So deep. I'm sure it scrapes the bone. It's like my whole body has been lit on fire. Snot dribbles down my nose. I can't fucking take it anymore. Brian just keeps counting. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Leo's writhing has gotten more intense, and each tug of his leg spreads puncture wounds more. I can't take it. Something begins to move in the corner of the room, in the closet, beside the bedroom. I can't tell if it's just my blurred vision or whether the door is actually opening. In the kitchen, the stool tips over. Micah is suddenly dangling freely.
Oh, God.
More croaked gurgles escape the increasingly red-faced bat. His arms begin to flail wildly at first, then in a more coordinated rhythm. It takes me a moment to realize he's batting his wings. He flaps as hard as he can, and finally it looks like he manages to get a gulp of air. He's hovering. His hovering is erratic, never enough to keep him completely suspended. Brian peers over his shoulder, eyebrows raised slightly.
Help him!
Brian ignores her. Would you look at that? He can fly. The exertion is clearly taxing Micah. He's still having trouble breathing. His face continues to turn an unnatural hue. He can't keep this up.
Help him!
Out of the corner of my eye, the closet door shifts, open further. There's something inside. Someone. They're reddish white color, half cloaked in shadow. Eyes wide, mouth open. It moves like there's a strobe light behind it. Its motion's choppy and unnatural. It's like it's not moving at all, but rather a series of images projected in front of my eyes, changing every second. And each second it gets closer. It looks to be as tall as Brian, impossibly slender, with arms and legs that look warped and burnt. It has no eyes, no mouth, but it must scream. Just holes. Next thing I know, it's in the kitchen, and Micah just drops. The bat hits the floor with a heavy thud, cut noose still around his neck. Brian sees it now, too. He reels back just as it begins to approach him. They're real, is all he can say before the bear is yanked out with immense, violent force. his body bending like a flicked rubber band. The contents of his pockets, one of his pant legs, and a small chunk of flesh smack against the kitchen wall. The rest of him goes flying out the window, along with the figure. My mind immediately thinks back to when I was a kid. I'd seen plenty of stuff, lots of horrible things. But the psychiatrist said that was normal, that sometimes kids hallucinate. Not like this, though. There's a glass shattered across the stained carpet. Bloodstains dapple the turquoise polka-dotted drapes, swaying slightly in the new breeze that comes through the broken window. This is real? Right? Past all reasonable doubt. Has to be. The shock of the situation had eclipsed the pain in my leg, and though that brief respite fades quickly, it's wretched and niggling, like being stung by 20 little bees every couple of seconds. Rivulets of Leo and I's blood pull together, then runs between our connected thighs. I writhe against my restraints, my head spinning and my heart pounding. Every base animalistic neuron in my brain is firing to flee the situation, to make the throbbing stop and just find safety. But there's nothing I can do but gasp for breath, one eye on the window, and the other on the struggling, bleeding silhouette of Micah. My vision blurs, and when it refocuses, Bat is up on his knees, yellow eyes wide and bloodshot. He says something. His voice is high pitched and quaky, utterly indiscernible, at least to me right now. He scrambles on his hands and knees, coughing and wheezing while yanking open several of Brian's kitchen drawers. Dirty silverware, cooking utensils, and faded yellow receipts shower the floor. The ruckus is immense, and I'm sure the thing outside hears it. That is, if it's even capable of hearing. He pulls another drawer completely out of its socket. An assortment of bottle openers, chips, clips, and twist ties clatter forth. Panting out ragged breaths, his fingers grab something glinting and silver from the new pile. His eyes widen. Keys. For a moment, his gaze trails to the door, then back to us. He coughs again, swearing some obscenity that I can't fully make out. Scampering along the kitchen to the other side of the room, he begins using the key on Jenna's restraint. There's a satisfying click, and I can hear Jenna gasp.
Thank you.
She whispers. Micah wastes no time, moving back into my slight line for a moment to reach Leo beside me.
You.
Leo moans, seemingly aware of the bat's presence as a large paw reaches out to touch the bat's soft mane of white fur. Micah stops for a moment, blinking some at the still definitely out of it wolf. Leo's arm goes limp again, the bat exhaling a coarse breath, trying to steady his own shaking hand so that he can unlock the wolf's restraint. Jenna quickly heads to the kitchen, grabbing a knife from the torn-out cutlery drawer.
I'll get you out of this in a sec. Just don't squirm, okay?
She looks at me, her turquoise eyes wide and glistening.
I'll be fine,
Leo mutters. Jenna doesn't even look at him as she brings the blade between our thighs. With a little slice, she manages to cut through the first stitch, and a fresh and a fresh runnel of blood leaks from the puncture points. It's as if the wound is hissing at me, my ears ringing as I clutch my fists against my chest. Don't scream. Don't scream. I whimper as the knife clicks, nicks the seconds, doesn't quite break the string. Instead, it tugs up, widening the piercing and tearing at the skin. Leo stirs, his fists clenching as his half-lidded eyes try to focus on Jenna. He bares his fangs briefly, trying to stand up. This pulls harder at the stitching, and I can't tell what will give first. The stitches or the flesh in my legs. I cry out between grit teeth, Jenna trying to pin the wolf back down.
Stop moving! You're only making it worse!
Jenna tries to cut the stitching faster now. She gets one rung, 2, 3.
Fuck off me!
I look down and see that Jenna's blade tip is stuck into the wolf's thigh, even more blood trickling from the fresh wound.
Just be still!
Never heard Jenna so tense. Leo only writhes more, reeling against his restraints with as much ferocity that Micah can't undo the lock. God, just fucking give it to me. The bat stops fiddling with the lock and extends a hand out to Jenna, the Fennec turning to look at him. She doesn't move to give him the knife, but she does loosen her grip. Micah doesn't hesitate and plucks it from her with the deftness of a pickpocket. Gingerly, he places the flat of his free hand against Leo's chest, and with the other, he makes a quick slice between our legs in one motion. Pressure keeping us together is suddenly gone. I can feel I can freely pull my leg away from his. The pain is still immense. Nowhere near as bad. You are so fucking lucky. I look up at the small bat as he moves to unlock Leo's restraint. If I'm lucky, I certainly don't feel like it. Yeah? So are you. The bat lets out a sharp exhale as Leo is freed. Surprisingly, he stands right up, albeit less than steadily. It's still not entirely clear if he knows where he is, blood still running down the side of his leg. Micah takes a cautionary step back, though the dazed wolf doesn't appear to be outwardly hostile towards him. In fact, the two meet each other's gazes for a moment, and Leo sobers slightly.
What?
He mumbles, bracing himself with a large arm against the wall. As Micah shifts his freeing efforts to me, Jenna nimbly steps around the broken glass and makes her way to Brian's fridge. She pulls open the door, tugging out various foodstuffs and plastic bags. Finally, she pulls out several bottles of water and hurries back over. Click. I gasp, holding my throat as I jerk my head forward. Big gulps of air into my lungs with a refreshing sensation unlike anything I've ever felt. My whole body buzzes with a mixture of pain and relief. Jenna quickly hands me a bottle of water and I don't hesitate to start chugging it. Well, I try to. Then I realize the cap's still on. After rectifying my error, I can see clearly the frazzled look in Jenna's eyes. Her usual cool demeanor gone, and in its place a deeply unsettled visage that matches how I feel. She briefly looks off to her side, towards the broken window, and back to me.
Chase, I...
Micah takes 2 of her bottled waters, giving one to Leo and one to himself. That thing. Jenna nods.
Yeah.
Was that the thing you mentioned to me? On the hike? Her fur bristles, Fox finding the notion incredibly uncomfortable.
I don't know what that was. Something the authorities will investigate later, I suppose.
So I wasn't fucking seeing shit. That really was some burnt motherfucker leaping out of that sick fuck's closet. Micah squeezes the bottle, splashing his face with the cold water. Must have been 7 feet tall, at least. A burning man, some may say. Is that all he was? Maybe a burned Gila monster. Just another victim of Brian's cruel tortures, stashed away until now. Do you think he's still outside?
Maybe he could just be wandering the perimeter of the trailer. He's just
Maybe
going in
he's-
circles.
Oh,
They said a thing.
maybe he's going to Lake Emma. Oh no. I think TJ's out there. Jenna responds in a hushed tone.
I doubt Brian's in much of a threatening state, though.
Yeah. We all seem to be fixated on the broken window, though none of us are jumping at the chance to investigate more closely. No one except for Leo. I glance over and see the big wolf stumbling forward, arms outstretched. His movements are jittery, robotic, his maw hanging open slightly. His eyes still aren't fully open, yet he grasps the windowsill and peers into the darkness. He stays there, motionless. Seconds pass, at least 10, and he finally turns around to face us.
Or is anyone else getting Outlast vibes? When the wall rider squeezed that fat fuck through the air conditioning vent.
What's Outlast?
Never seen that before.
Leo mumbles. You see anything?
Yeah.
Micah stares at him, bug-eyed. Well, what do you fucking see?
Red.
Micah sets his water bottle down, picking back up his knife and the contents of Brian's pockets. All right, fuck this. We're getting out of here. If that person we totally all just saw wanted to do us in, it would have done so. I just want to get a car, get some distance from this place, call the cops on a payphone. He furrows his brow at something on the ground before picking it up and shoving it into his shorts, and spend the rest of the night cooped up in one of those 24-hour pancake houses where the wait staff are always around to watch you.
Carl. Gotta save him.
Leo blurts this out like a spoken belch, his disoriented eyes seemingly swimming in their sockets as he looks at no one in particular. The notion swells up like a knot in my stomach. First fear, then guilt. Carl had been subjected to this for days. Maybe he knows more about the thing in the closet.
That's a job for the police.
Holy shit, that is the most logical thing these idiots have said since. I've said almost the entire time. Maybe let the police go after the, giant drug kingpin. He has no problem murdering and torturing people.
No, that's
She
a
says-
job for Batman or Spider-Man. Your friendly trailer. Wait, your friendly trailer park Spider-Man.
I mean, he can technically fly if he flaps his wings hard enough. Now, I guess the big trick is him, flapping his arms and pointing a pistol and shooting Brian.
No, he just uses the bat wrench.
She says this with an initial reassuring tone, though she falters after a moment.
Those gunshots earlier. We would have heard police sirens by now. I'm assuming the phone service and internet is still down.
So? Let's find a fucking car then. We drive to Peyton, rat out those murderer-abiding fucks I called friends, and never look back. Jenna sighs, closing her eyes for a moment, then nodding.
Yeah. That's as sound of an idea as any. Let's go.
I'm not seeing any car keys here. Pretty sure Duke has his, right?
Go to save Carl. No.
Leo interjects, and Jenna just looks at him, dumbfounded.
Oh, go right ahead, Leo.
She speaks up, gesturing towards the door flippantly.
We'll be in Peyton. You go right ahead and tell us how that goes,
Leo blinks slowly, before again slowly meandering to the door. Wait, what? I try to stop him, wincing at the pain in my leg.
Oh, Jesus.
I manage to grab his fur, and that staggers him enough to stop for a moment.
I wasn't serious.
Leo, please, come on. We'll stick together and get this taken care of.
Carl.
I can feel him pulling away, so I try to think of something to get him to stop. Leo, man, we need you. I need you. I squeeze his paw briefly, just enough to show him I'm here, and his eyes close once again. Like a lost child, he squeezes back. The physical contact feels nice, though after being stitched to him, I'm relieved when he lets go. You two, good to move? I take a tentative step, and Jenna takes me by the arm in case I fall. The pain is dizzying, and I have overwhelming urge to just down a bottle of ibuprofen and crawl into a corner. But I definitely can still walk. I'll manage. Jenna smiles faintly at me.
I'll help him.
Leo, in all his stupid glory, says nothing as he pulls open the front door and steps outside into the darkness. Micah steps up beside us, his skinny arms folded tightly over his chest. Okay, urgent care for him, and then the pancake house. Alright, I think that's what we're gonna call it.
Pancakes Day.
Yeah, I think we should call it here. It's nearly been 2 hours.
Indeed,
But-
and it's late.
How did you feel about that scene, Finn?
Well, we already had that scene, something similar to that scene during Leo's route.
Mm-hmm.
So, seeing how batshit insane Brian is pretty standard. I mean, it's usually how people named Brian are. I'm kidding, people named Brian. except for you. You know who you are.
And there is that one guy, Scott. You know what you did.
Yep. Mm-hmm. I'm pointing directly at you.
I'm not pointing. I
Not
don't
the
want him
other
to come to
ones.
me.
You specifically.
I'm
They
not
know who
pointing.
you are.
He knows what he did, and I don't want him to come for me. So, no pointing. You can point your own finger at yourself.
But yeah, it was pretty standard for Brian's crazy ass. The whole
Yeah.
stitching them together thing is just an entirely new like level of fucked up.
Mm-hmm. What
You
was
have
pretty horrifying was for poor little Micah.
yeah, a noose with razor blades on the outside. It's just there's that whole thing when you have people who just really like inflicting pain and suffering on other people to an extreme degree and they get off on it. Yeah, no.
It's just
Like,
sick.
yeah, if we
It's
compare
dick
that
sick.
to something like if we compare that to something like BDSM, like in BDSM, there's safe, sane, and consensual, which essentially means the whole safe part is there's no way this is actually going to hurt you long term, or it shouldn't with what you're doing. Sane means this makes sense. This is clearly not something that is batshit crazy. I mean, Micah shit crazy. The the last part is consensual, which is basically that all parties involved have the right to end it at any time, either with some sort of gesture that has been agreed on beforehand to say, hey, check on me, or some sort of verbal noise or sound. And I mean, usually these are like green for we're good, yellow for we're starting to reach one of my limits, you need to pull it back, and red for stop and untie me, we're done. And you know what? And that stuff makes perfect sense. A step up from that, you have what's called rack, which is risk aware consensual kink, which where you get stuff where like someone puts a literal noose around someone's neck with a slip knot, not an actual noose. Nooses, by the way, when they tighten, they stay that way permanently. The rope can only go in one direction. You can't untighten a noose. Um, so usually, so I mean, they use slip knots. And that would be stuff where you'll see something where like someone hangs somebody until they like pass out and then lets them down and untightens the slip knot. Shit that most people look at and think is just insane. Then you have Brian, who just likes torturing people. He's fucking crazy. There's like, there's really no major like thoroughfare that there's no major comparison. It's like SSC is like a 1 out of 10, and Rack is like an 8 out of 10. Brian is like a 30 out of 10. Because he does intend to kill them. Like, make no mistake. Like, he knows that they're all going to die by his hand. There's no letting them go. And he knows that if he does enough damage to them where there's absolutely no fucking way that they can be left, that they can be released, then he'll get to kill them. So he'll get to torture them to death and then take them down into a cave. So, yeah, Brian's fucking crazy. But yeah, we see stuff where if you played this before Flynn's route, the socket man might not make any sense to you. He might just seem to come out of nowhere. We understand more about the socket man because we just did Flynn's route. And Jenna has referenced that the socket man is someone that she saw when she was a kid. So that is definitely a nice aspect of that he is seeming to be her protector. to an extent, despite the fact that he doesn't like, despite the fact that Flynn does not really like Jenna all that much.
Seems to
They
actively
did.
dislike her.
What was that?
He seems to actively dislike her.
I think that's more of him just being on the spectrum and him believing that she doesn't like him. So I think there's that like thing going on between the two of them where like I mean sure there are personality traits that they don't like about each other, but at the same time, I think with Flynn, how he's supposed to be is that he does not understand Jenna and he feels that she is just permanently against him. And so he's kind of just like, and he doesn't have the wherewithal to understand that if he wants to salvage this relationship, that he needs to be proactive in that. So, yeah, he probably just doesn't realize that if he asks, her, you like, how do I fix this? That she would probably tell him. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's referenced that he has Asperger's or something along those lines, or that he has autism, and that's a pretty common thing with people like that, not being able to, people with those diagnoses, not really being able to gauge those relationships all too well. So it makes sense. But we do see in Flynn's storyline. Go and watch that, guys. It's on YouTube, both our channels. We do see that they do become friends in a different timeline. So, no, well, I mean, they're still friends, but they hit that common ground, I guess, where they get that mutual understanding. So, and yeah, the whole thing of they're always going in circles, like this is a timeline that seems to just keep repeating with slightly different permutations of what actually happens. So, it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that entire scene's pretty fucked.
Yeah.
uh, for reference, there was a scientist who he wanted to find out how painful it was to be hanged. And so he set up an experiment where he actually brought other scientists in and they took turns hanging themselves. And I think the longest he said he had gone for was like 3 or 4 seconds before it became too painful. So yeah, yeah, no, no. Micah just went through hell, and yeah, getting stitched to somebody's fucking ridiculous. Like to be honest, with that kind of trauma, they shouldn't even be able to walk. Like we're talking, the muscle is damaged, the muscle is shocked. Once the adrenaline's gone, their legs are just stiff. Like those muscles are just gonna seize up, and that's it. They shouldn't be able to walk. But yeah, it's like movie magic. People get shot in the arm with an arrow, and then they just pull the arrow out, severing tendons and muscle and, arteries and veins and stuff. And then they're just fine. They move the arm around like nothing happened. So, yeah, I'm expecting Chase and Leo to go sprinting somewhere at this point. But,
slow motion style.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And by the way, Leo was out for quite a while. Getting knocked out is usually you're unconscious for about 5 to 10 seconds and then you wake back up. So if Leo is unconscious for this long, he has severe brain damage right now. Like that's what that's supposed to mean. Like we're talking crippling brain damage, needs to be on a neuro ward right now getting treatment or massive brain damage and probably death. So, yeah. Anyway, that's my thoughts on the scene. What about you?
Uh, I'll just say it's such a disturbing scene that I made that the first video of October like spooky videos, just because of, like, how disturbing it is. Because you're right, it's very disturbing. It's incredibly disturbing. And I think anyone who's not disturbed by it, I don't know how you're not disturbed by it.
That is a definitely go touch grass and stop watching so many fucking horror movies.
Yeah. Go touch
Kind of
grass,
thing.
go see clouds, go meet people. You know,
Yeah, go
that's
get
what
less desensitized. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, that's what I did with it. Yeah, it's vaguely horribly disturbing. Uh, that's why Brian actually does scare me a little whenever I see him on screen and look at his sprites. It like I do get a little scared because of just how fucking insane he is and cruel.
Yep. There was that saying that some people just need killing. Brian is definitely one of those.
Some some people just need killing.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's Brian.
Brian is a shoot
He-
him with a shotgun with the slug in it in his chest until he stops moving, and then
So,
go chop his head off.
yeah, just like
Make sure he doesn't get back up.
yeah, get a priest in, just make sure the soul does pass on to hell.
Yeah, yeah. Make sure you dismember him just in case. But then
Just
again, after you dismember Brian, you'll like stab that stake into the ground before you put that chainsaw on your stump hand, and
hope he doesn't come back as one of the deadites.
yeah, exactly. You flash of lightning, like I live.
No, it would be I live. Like I'd rather fight Pennywise.
I mean, Pennywise is easy. You just make fun of him, and he's just like, dude, Pennywise is hilarious. Like in the newer movie, like the kids as adults. No, it's the kids while they're still kids. They realize that Pennywise can't do shit to them if they're not scared of him. So they just fucking bully him, and he just like falls apart. It's hilarious.
That's funny.
You beat Pennywise by bullying Pennywise. He just sort of falls over and he's like, no.
Did you choose that makeup for yourself, or did your Lovecraftian mommy do it for you? Ooh, cry for us, baby clown thing. Boo hoo. Make it a permanent mark on your paint. Boo hoo. It's supposed to be
Yeah.
red lines coming from your eye, or blue lines coming from your eyes, because they're tears, baby.
But there's the whole thing that, as weird as it is, like when you look at criminal organizations, man, they do need an enforcer that everyone is absolutely pants shittingly terrified of.
Yeah, that would be Brian.
And if we look at something called like the Five Bad Band, it's a trope. If you guys know what the Five Man Band is, that's usually used for heroes. You have the hero, the lancer. Usually the hero fights one way and the lancer fights a different way that's sort of supporting. Oftentimes the hero will be like sword and board. A lancer will use a spear of some sort, so like a lance. Then you have the big guy who's like a barbarian, the smart guy who's like a wizard, and then the heart or the chick who is like your healer, your support character. The Five Bad Band is the big bad evil guy who is like the emperor from Star Wars. You have the dragon, the dragon who's like Darth Vader. And then you have like the mastermind who runs all the goons, the berserker who's sort of like the big guy but crazier, and then the dark chick who is like this sort of like evil version of the chick, and usually the one who betrays the bad guys. But if we look at this, Duke is the big bad evil guy. He's the smart guy running everything, leading everything. You have Brian, who is the dragon, who, holy shit, solos the party no problem. You have, and then you have just a bunch of basically mooks. Beyond that, like Clint, who's kind of just there. Yeah, and some other ones. I guess in this case, Micah is the dark chick because he's the one who betrayed his old gang, his old crew to join the Echo 5 or 6 or whatever. But yeah, interesting things. Actually, because Duke and Brian are technically in a relationship, they could be a battle couple.
I think Michael would be up like, I ain't no chick, bitch.
I know, chick, bitch. Well, you're about as tall as Jenna, bitch.
Bitch.
Bet Jenna could hold you down and slap you. Fuck
Bitch. She probably could.
You. Yeah, probably.
Foxes
He is a
hunt
bat
bats.
after all.
Shut
He
up,
is a bat, and he
bitch.
weighs so little that he could literally cause himself to start levitating if he flapped his wings. And how tough could he be?
Although he's really good with a knife.
Yeah.
The D&D
he's part of
group
the underworld.
of D&D group of Echo.
yeah. Micah's just a rogue. That's what he's good at.
Micah the Rogue.
But all right.
Stands out in the night because he's white.
Don't worry, you can just rub ash all over himself and it'll be fine.
Have Deadpool? Oh, did you fail your stealth check again, little guy?
Aww.
Just imagine Deadpool saying something like that. Oh, you mad you failed your stealth check for the 10th time in a row, little guy? Is that why you're being such a little bitch?
Fuck you. What I would like to see is another route that's sort of that sort of combines everything into like a super route and has most of the supporting characters from all the other routes in there. That could be cool, but it would also be absolutely insane to try and write.
That'd probably
Like
be
it would
like
be
a
so
fan
much
fiction.
longer.
That'd
Yeah,
probably be like a
that's
fan
like
fiction
fan
level.
fiction territory.
Yeah. Or
Yeah.
Maybe.
nah, it's not arches.
No,
No.
because it would
I don't
need
know. I don't think so.
what's his face, the husky,
Oh,
Gudzu,
Raven!
and like Raven. It would require like all of them to have a reason to be there. That could be cool. But
That'd be kind of cool.
yeah.
That'd be fun to voice
Yeah.
act. Get all the old voices back. Let's go, Raven!
We have Raven.
Hey, did somebody call my name? Hey, did somebody call my name? I was working, and I came down from the mall, and there you all were. And I thought, someone said my name. So I should be here.
I met this really interesting guy named Brian. And then I shot him about 30 times in the back with my revolver that I stole from Leo. It's technically Leo's revolver. Don't tell Leo that. But then Brian just got up and started walking towards me, so I ran like hell.
Your gun's shit, bitch.
It's Leo's gun. Leo's gun is shit.
No,
Don't
it's
call me
fucking
bitch.
not.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm Flynn, and I've got my gun. My repeater.
And then my voice for Daxton is, come on, Flynn. You know you can't just go fleeing that thing around like that.
That's right, Daxton. I think he was like British in my version.
Yeah, he was
like-
British in your version, but he's supposed to come from a place called Colville, which is the source of which had like a Western movie and a Western feel to it. So I figured everyone there would have
yeah, exactly.
yeah. And so I tried to give him like a little bit of a Southern twang, but it's just leaned far into that and just kind of make his default voice like Ferris Bueller. So, I just kind of speak like this, but then I put a little twang in it.
Yeah, I think I was mostly going for trying to give him a voice that was not only easy to do, but also distinct.
Distinct.
Yeah.
Some of them do kind of blur, like Jeremy. Jeremy and Duke kind of get together a little bit, kind of blurred.
Yeah.
The girls all kind
In
of
more
blur.
ways than one, probably. Oh, God.
Jeremy,
What do you
you're
mean
getting
by
soft
more ways
again.
than one?
Hey,
Oh, my God.
Jeremy,
Can you imagine?
you're getting soft on me again. Or should I say, soft in me?
Oh,
You need to stiffen
God.
up. You have a stiff upper lip. I'm gonna give you back
You
to
know what?
Brian.
Fuck this. I'm going back to my room. Goodbye, Flynn. Goodbye, weird weasel person. Goodbye, Fennec that's kind of overweight that I've never seen before because we never meet. And,
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Is that Jeremy? Jenna, is that your brother? Wow, he let himself go.
yes, he's also got his dick inside of the weasel. Anyway, I'm leaving
Oh, I
now.
didn't want to see that.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh,
Why did you
Jesus
draw
Christ, I'm
attention
not
to
supposed
it? I was
say
trying
Jesus
not to
Christ.
look. Ah, can't unsee.
Oh, Duke. I mean, he's like, oh, Jeremy.
The
just got
orgy of
harder all of
Echo.
a sudden.
Well, with that,
No.
I don't know how
Now
I don't
Twitch
know
looks
how
at
the
this and is like, "You're
listeners and
banned."
viewers are going to imagine that mental image we've given them.
Just imagine Flynn's grandmother. She just walks up, sees what's going on, folds her arms and shakes her head. Doesn't even say anything. She's like, I'm not surprised by this anymore. Flynn, your friends are weird.
I swear, this isn't what that voice means when it says we're going in circles. Because it seems like a whole big circle jerk.
as long as I'm connected to Tula.
Oh no. Leo, we need to talk a little bit.
We can talk
You know-
later.
I mean, fine, but I mean, as long as you get me the fuck away from Brian. Oh, you're not going anywhere. Oh shit. Leo, as long as we stay away from Brian and we don't go anywhere near that cave where Brian wants us to go, then maybe
Oh, we forgot about one person.
Carl.
No. Well, yeah, him. But I was
Oh.
thinking,
Here we are.
oh yeah, I forgot about him too. But there is one guy that we just saw.
How did I get caught up in all this gay shit?
Fucking Clint.
Yeah, that reminds me of like that one scene in Leo's Rat where Brian was literally hanging Clint.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing, just no razor blades. So yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, it was fun.
Yeah, that was fun. I'm tired as hell.
Ah, me too. Well, thank you for
Indeed.
joining us, everyone. We hope you enjoyed this special edition of Fen and Terry's mental image sources.
Yes. Now next time on
Disturbing mental imaging.
Echo. All right, we will see you guys later. Bye, everyone.
Bye.